one of the most popular places to PG a mage, and it probably is just as good for paladins. This is the mother of Scarabs cave. This spawn is located in Akramun, but closer to Darasha. It has two entrances that lead to the same cave, and you can go from either one. Follow this path until you go down 4 times. On the way, you will find the mummies, which I did cover already, and then on the 4th floor you start seeing the ancient scarabs with one necromancer. But the best part of the cave is -5, so go down one more time. This place is probably one of the best to power get a paladin. It can be hunted starting at level 50, but it won't be easy. You could wait to 70 or 80 if it feels hard, at which point it will still be good XP. But in this video I will be covering with two different characters with high and low skills. The creatures you find in here are mainly Bombies and Ancient Scarabs, which both of them are taskable for the killing in the name of quest, for characters between level 50 and 79. It's highly recommended to pick up these tasks and do them to get some easy points for the questline. The bosses are optional, but at least the Bombies boss has a chance to drop a Maxilia Maximus. As for the actual hunt, I want to start off with the high skills character because I tried using Onyx arrows first. This is doable with high distance characters, but in reality the best way to hunt this is with burst arrows. Without them, I was sitting at around the 425k raw, with one tier 3 mana leash with tier 1 on the bow and tier 2 mana on the helmet, but then I came back with burst arrows and this time a fully tier 3 bow with tier 3 on the helmet, which to be fair it does influence the experience a bit, but I believe the burst arrows did the most difference, boosting the experience from the previous 425 to around 530k. Keep in mind burst arrows are a bit harder to find since they cannot be bought from NPCs, so it is highly dependent on the supply in the market. On my server at the time, there were a lot of them for around 20 GP each, which might be normal, but in new servers it's a lot harder to get them, so be aware of that. Also, this spawn can still be hunted with weaker characters, it's just going to be harder, and I will probably start doing it around 80 for better potions in that case. This spawn is the best to hunt because its shape allows a simple lap in a circle around the cave. Also, a lot of times the Scarabs will be running in low HP around the edges. I recommend to kill them so they are part of the next pulls. As for your supply usage, it's very dependent on imbuements, but you want to aim for around 300 GFPs per 600 burst arrows and the potions you can carry. Now moving on to the weaker characters, level 62, distance 93 and magic level 15. Just slightly stronger than what you will be on a new server, but do keep in mind I'm using the same tier 3 fully imbued bow with tier 3 mana leech on the helmet, and in order to hunt better and slightly safer, it's important to use the walls on FK as you're kiting, aiming to get the creatures to trap each other while they chase you. This also serves the purpose of keeping them closer to each other so that the burst arrow hits more targets. But it does have its risks because you often have to tank at least some hits, and with the paralyzes you can get trapped rapidly, or even worse, this can happen to you. I didn't get trapped, but the ancient scarab summoned a larva that blocked off my pathing multiple times, and by the time I had to diagonal to get out, it was too late. This partly happens because I got greedy, going past two ancients and being in a position where they can come from behind. But instead, by using the walls as you kite, then all of their movement becomes more predictable. You don't need to always rely on the walls, but you still need to apply the same logic as you kite them, especially with burst arrows where the AoE is limited. Also, ideally you want to use light healing as your main healing spell because it also removes the paralyzes, but you need to have the Exuragram ready to go when getting hit on melee. So switch back and forth to manage your mana better, especially if you don't have good imbuements. With this character, I was doing around the 425k raw, which is pretty decent for the level. Keep in mind this hunt will be waste no matter what. They do have some valuable drops and gems, but it just covers part of the supplies. If you want to make profit, then you will need to go to one of these other options in this playlist. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to the guild Causality, Night Star and Tuna Hero for the donations to the channel.